Northrop test pilot just submitted a debrief the Pentagon classified within 48 hours. The B-21 entered Chinese radar coverage over Beijing. 6 hours later, Beijing knew. The B-21 was already back at Edwards. China spent $500 billion on a radar network that saw nothing. Here's exactly how. The People's Liberation Army Air Force operates the most expensive integrated air defense network in military history. Over 200 HQ-9B surface-to-air missile batteries deployed along China's eastern coast. Each battery costs $40 million. That's $8 billion in missile hardware alone. A single line item in a system built for one purpose. Add the sensor infrastructure, Type 1475 fire control radars, YJ-12 coastal defense systems, over 400 active installations, each calibrated to detect low observable aircraft. Add the J-20 Mighty Dragon fleet. China fields 300-plus J-20 stealth fighters at $110 million per airframe. $33 billion in interceptors on permanent standby. Beijing commissions 50 new J-20s every single year. Add the hardened command network. Over 300 underground bunkers buried along China's eastern coastline. Construction cost $200 billion. Each one engineered to survive direct conventional strikes. Beijing's defense ministry publicly called this network impenetrable. State media broadcast HQ-9B specifications to 47 nations. They sold the premise, to themselves and every watching government, as the definitive answer to American air power. One mission, one target: detect U.S. stealth, track it, kill it. The B-2 Spirit was America's previous stealth platform. China studied its radar signature for 3 decades. Reverse-engineered every detectable emission pattern. That entire architecture was calibrated to neutralize a B-2 class threat. Here's what nobody in Beijing planned for. The B-21 isn't a better B-2. It's a different species of aircraft. The B-21 Raider's unrefueled operational range, 6,000 nautical miles. One number breaks everything. China's anti-access area denial bubble. Every battery, every radar tower, every interceptor on standby was built to deny access within 900 nautical miles of the coastline. The B-21 launches from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, flies 6,000 nautical miles, strikes deep inside China, returns to base, without entering the defended zone once. Beijing built a front door. The B-21 doesn't use it, and it's already deployed. The Air Force took operational delivery at Ellsworth Air Force Base, South Dakota, in December 2023. The test program was scheduled for 180 days. It finished in 73, that's a warning. Now run the math. One B-21 carries 30,000 pounds of payload. Standard combat load, 14 GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators. Each GBU-57 costs $3.5 million. Designed to punch through 200 feet of reinforced concrete before detonating inside the structure. $49 million of bunker-killing ordnance per sortie, delivered with zero detection from 6,000 miles out. Beijing spent $200 billion constructing 300 hardened underground command bunkers specifically to survive conventional airstrikes. One B-21 sortie destroys 14 of them. At full production, 100 Raiders, that's 1,400 bunker-busting strikes in a single coordinated package. Munitions cost $490 million. Chinese infrastructure destroyed $200 billion. It's a 400-to-1 cost exchange ratio. In America's favor, China built a $200 billion underground fortress for a threat that will never enter the airspace above it. Here's the question running in emergency sessions inside China's defense ministry right now. The B-21 is operational. Deployment numbers and forward positions are classified. How many are already within strike range of the first island chain? Drop your estimate in the comments, but here's what actually keeps Pentagon planners up at night. The B-21 doesn't operate alone. America's F-47, the $300 million 6th-generation stealth fighter, was engineered specifically to operate inside the gap the B-21 creates. The combined strike doctrine runs in 2 phases. Phase 1. The B-21 approaches from outside the defended zone. Silent. It strikes radar command nodes and early warning infrastructure. Not the missile batteries, the eyes. Phase 2. With the sensor network dark and the command chain severed, the F-47 enters. Each aircraft controls 8 collaborative combat aircraft, AI-driven autonomous drones carrying a combined $320 million weapons payload per sortie. China's HQ-9 batteries are still physically standing, but they have no targeting data. A missile firing blind costs $4 million and fires exactly once. If Beijing saturates its full eastern complement of 200 batteries in a desperation strike, that's $800 million in hardware hitting empty sky. The Pentagon ran this exact combined scenario in a classified wargame in early 2025. Results were sealed within 72 hours. Defense analysts who reviewed the unclassified portions described a complete command collapse. China's entire eastern infrastructure non-functional within 90 minutes of the opening engagement. What happened in the 60 days that followed told the rest of the story. Congress authorized full B-21 production to 100 units at maximum priority. $203 billion. Approved in under 2 months. That's a verdict. Here's what that verdict means for Beijing's 2028 Taiwan timeline. China's entire counter-intervention strategy rests on one foundational premise. American aircraft cannot survive inside the first island chain. That premise drove every spending decision for 2 decades. Every radar installation, every missile battery, every hardened bunker, $2 trillion of military modernization, all load-bearing weight on a single assumption. The B-21 didn't challenge that assumption. It deleted it. Beijing now faces a $500 billion stranded asset crisis. Every HQ-9 battery that can't track the B-21 is worthless against a B-21 strike. Every bunker engineered for conventional air attacks is a confirmed GBU-57 coordinate. Every detection installation calibrated for a B-2 class signature is architecturally blind to what replaced it. Rebuilding from scratch, new quantum radar technology, revised tracking doctrine, upgraded hardening specifications, takes 12 to 15 years minimum. Cost? $800 billion. China has 4 years, and here's the compounding problem they cannot solve. Every B-21 operational sortie generates new classified performance data. Northrop engineers update the stealth profile based on whatever Chinese system came closest to detecting it. The aircraft that flew over Beijing during that classified mission has been updated 3 times since. America is running a learning algorithm. China built a static wall. That gap doesn't close. It compounds every single flight. So what is Beijing's counter? One answer, one program. The H-20, China's stealth bomber, announced in 2016, and designed to compete in the B-21's category. 10 years of development. As of 2026, China has delivered 0 H-20 aircraft. 0. The B-21's test program finished 73 days early and is already generating combat sortie data. The H-20 is still a render. Now run the head-to-head numbers. B-21 unrefueled range, 6,000 nautical miles. H-20 estimated range when it eventually arrives, 5,000 nautical miles. Still unable to threaten continental American territory. The B-21 can strike Beijing from South Dakota. China's answer, when it exists, cannot reach Kansas. China's frontline strategic bomber today? The H-6N. Maximum combat radius with aerial refueling, roughly 3,000 nautical miles. Built on a Soviet airframe design first flown in 1952. 1952. That is not a typo. China's primary long-range bomber runs on a 70-year-old skeleton. Now the cost asymmetry nobody is calculating publicly. The B-2 Spirit, America's previous stealth bomber, cost $2.1 billion per aircraft. The B-21 costs approximately $700 million per unit. America made stealth 3 times cheaper while making it more lethal. For the cost of one B-2, the Air Force buys 3 B-21 Raiders. And the stealth gap? The J-20, China's best fighter, carries an estimated radar cross-section approximately 500 times larger than an F-22. The B-21 is reportedly below even the B-2's near-zero signature. China's most advanced combat aircraft cannot match America's 30-year-old stealth standard. The B-21 has no competition. 100 B-21 Raiders, all undetectable, each carrying 14 bunker busters, striking from 6,000 nautical miles outside China's kill zone. Beijing's answer: a stealth bomber still on a drawing board after 10 years. A frontline strategic bomber running on a 1952 airframe. Is this already over? Drop your prediction in the comments. Subscribe now and see you in our next videos.